All right, Jerry Mace, the Kickin lawyer. We're here for another law talk. We have multiple people here going to give you some great information about an upcoming event. As always, if you haven't, please like, follow, subscribe to the content. We're available on all social media platforms, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and, of course, TikTok. You can go over to TikTok and watch Josh do all the dances. It's lots of fun dancing on the TikTok. There's also some legal information. Anyway, Inside My Head is available for free. It's by the local band, N.A. The Band. You can download that anywhere you listen to music. No charge. It's a great album. Support those guys. Michelle Allen has been a longtime sponsor of the show. If you're going to buy, sell, rent, lease real estate, she'd be glad to help you out. So give her a call. Check her out. She's a local Cry Like realtor. If you want to learn to kick people in the face, visit masonsmartialarts.com. I've been training people for 30-something years. We have a school in Covington and in Millington. Be glad to help you out. And the new business I just opened is Jam Books and Records. It's located on the square here in Covington. It's open 7 days a week right now. We have new and used books and records, so make sure you check us out. And then if you're trying to build a brand, website design, commercials, all that stuff, just visit masonitemarketing.com. Josh, be glad to give you a helping hand. Joining me today for the show, we've got, I've always been kind of active, at least in the last decade or so, with the Ruffin Theater. And I've got multiple members of the cast of Legally Blonde that's coming up. So what I'm going to do is let them go around the table and introduce themselves, and then maybe tell us your role in the play. Who wants to go first?
Hi, I'm Hannah Gay. I'm playing Elle Woods. I'm very excited about it.
My name's Tanner Pilgrim. I'm going to be playing Warner. I don't know his last name, actually. I don't remember. Huntington. Okay. I will be playing Warner Huntington the Third.
Yes. I'm Savvy Brewer. I am playing Vivian Kensington.
We have the whole love triangle here.
Yes.
So he's the
Ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. And that's
who
you're the new girlfriend.
Yes.
I don't remember. I remember it sort of. I was interested because it's she's going to law school.
Yeah, it's not super accurate, but
No, it's not. It's not. But
That's Reese Witherspoon, Selma Blair.
Okay, yeah, I still don't remember.
And I don't remember who Warner
I
was.
think I've watched the. I think I watched the movie once. I think somebody made me watch the movie. It's not really my style, but I watched it. Now I have seen the play though several times. I have been to see the play. So what made? Let's just go around and you all kind of say like why you auditioned. Well, I guess we should start with: did you get the role you wanted, or did you end up doing another role you didn't anticipate?
I got exactly what I wanted. I was so excited. I have never been cast in a role this big before, so I freaked out. I was at work when I got a call saying that I got it.
Well, it's kind of like we were talking about before we started. I've known you a long time, and you've been involved at the Ruffin for a long time and in other productions, even some I was in. And, you definitely got some experience. So, but yeah, I mean, you're the lead, so it's a big deal. How's that going?
About time.
Good. I've almost got everything memorized, and I mean everything. It's just...
She's doing better than a lot of us.
Thank you.
What is it? Pop and snap and...
The bend and snap.
Bend and snap. That's what it is, yeah.
I've done that so many times.
What about you, Mr. Tanner?
I actually didn't audition for this. David is a good friend of mine, and he is playing Emmett in the show. And he actually texted me and was like, hey, man, we need guys. And then one thing led to another, and I ended up taking the part of somebody because I worked with Heather before on a number of things. So I like Warner. I ended up being in a spot that I'm really liking, and I'm having a lot of fun. So I feel weird that I didn't.
Have you been in other plays?
I've music directed Little Shop and Matilda, and I was in Matilda as a minor role. And I was recently in Putnam County Spelling Bee as Vice Principal Panch. Mm-hmm. So I've done.
That guy.
Yeah, I'm here and there. I bounce about. So I feel what's asked of me, and
you said you made it to All-State Choir or something at one point?
Yeah. I mean, something about that. Something like it. That was a while ago.
You're an amazing singer. You can say that.
So my mom...
Scoot this way a little bit. I'll scoot down so you don't have to be up on the old guy, but there you go.
Cool. Okay. So my mom went to law school for around the time that the original movie came out. She actually went to go see the movie with my dad at the drive-in right before she took her bar exam.
The drive-in. They had a drive-in then?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that long ago, was it?
It was
No, it was-
2001, I think, when the
Mhm.
movie came
Okay,
out.
they may have had drive-ins.
It's as
then.
old as I am, which is crazy.
I didn't realize your mom was that old.
She's older than you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought your mama was my age or younger.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell her that I said that.
Yeah, but so I've grown up. It's been a big part of her life because
Mhm.
she kind of lives the legally blonde aesthetic, even though she's no longer blonde, but
Mhm.
she's still.
She's still legally.
Yes. and it's something that I've kind of grown up with, and I'm just like, I want to do this because when the chance came to do it, I auditioned for both Elle and Vivian, and with a lot of when you're auditioning for stuff and sometimes you don't get the role you want, but you still get a role, there is a period of mourning where you're like, oh, I'm so sad I didn't get it. And I had like a day I was just like crying because I did not get Elle. But I was so happy for Hannah that she got it. And
Thank you.
but then after that day I was really excited to do Vivian. So
Yeah, I've been in that exact situation many times.
Yeah. it's really it's a mourning period.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, let's go have
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
It's weird.
Well, so one thing you mentioned that I kind of wanted to bring up for everybody that watches, if anybody watches this, is that so I've been in the plays and was hesitant to do plays, and honestly, it was because I don't mind the acting component of it, but I can't sing, and so they 5 or 6 years ago now they needed somebody to play Rocky. Nobody was wanting to get up there naked like that.
Iconic.
I didn't mind the getting naked. It was the singing part because I can't sing. I think you might have even been in or around that very first
Yeah.
year. That was a huge struggle for me. But my point was twofold. One, I think men need to realize there's opportunities for them to have fun and grow as a person in theater. Because
There's
for whatever
So
reason,
many opportunities.
yeah, whatever reason they think that that's not something that they can do, and there's always a need for guys. You know, it's great to have talented guys like you, but there's a lot of other guys out there that I wish would kind of step out and at least audition because they're a lot of fun. I always enjoy doing Rocky. I briefly did. I ended up not doing the role, but it was I forget the name of the play. They had me. I was going to be a fitness instructor or whatever the play was, and then ended up there was a conflict. I couldn't do it, but I'm open to doing stuff like that. But the second thing that I was going to say is, besides men needing to do it, I enjoy just the experience of broadening your comfort zone that you get to do when you're in these plays.
Yeah.
And you're just talking about how you were disappointed in not getting Elle. So when I was in 5th grade, I auditioned for the choir. You're a big singer guy. Y'all can, I'm sure, all sing. I know Hannah can.
Thanks.
I vividly remember this. I went into the choir room, and the choir director had me supposedly sing notes, and my voice was changing at the time. Like it was, this up and down. And I did that, and she laughed at me.
Oh,
And
that's awful.
that to this day, I have like this phobia because she literally laughed at. And I wasn't like I am now. I was a little kind of pudgy kid that was just doing his best in 5th grade. Kind of wanted to. My friends were in the choir, and I honestly didn't even realize it was really an audition. And so I just, just had this phobia about it. All the way fast forward till I think I was 39 when I did the Rocky play. But I realized in life it's about experiences. And I needed to get over that fear. Even whether I can sing or not, it's irrelevant. It's that I want to get over that fear of public performance or embarrassment, I guess. And so what better way to do it than being gold lame Speedos and singing in front of everybody? So my point is, it's for people that are watching, I think, if you have any experience like that in life, go ahead and broaden the comfort zone. You don't want to be 90 or 100 if you're blessed and about to die and be like, man, I really wish I had tried that play,
Yeah.
So let's talk about other plays, either that you've been in or you would like to be in, or even like to see the Ruffin have. What would be like your dream play to be in?
Well, I directed before I so There's if I want to direct actually at Ruffin that I'm just kind of waiting for a chance to. One of them I'm looking at right now is the guy who didn't like musicals, which is a Star Kid show. That is
What's the name of it?
It's a good
the
one.
guy who didn't like
The
musicals.
guy who didn't like musicals. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with
It's
it.
a really crazy story.
It is. So I'm not gonna go into all that right now because
That's one though you would like to see them
Yes,
do,
I
and you would
think-
like to direct it.
yes, there's a bunch that I like to direct.
What about you, Hannah?
We've like all the younger people at the theater have talked about wanting to do Heathers for forever,
Oh my god.
and I also would love to do Heathers.
So good. Same composer as Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
They were the. I don't know if it's like
They write really
the same
good
one
music.
person, but
Uh-huh.
both one person, same person worked on
I've
Heathers and
never
Legally
seen
Blonde.
that one either.
Very good.
There's a generational gap on some of those.
It's actually based on a movie from 1989.
I'm familiar with the movie, but I was only 10 when it came out,
Yeah.
and so I didn't see it, and so it kind of missed me.
You should have.
I guess I could go back and watch it now.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It's really good. It's a dark comedy.
I'm kind of corny, but one of my favorite musicals is the SpongeBob musical.
Yes.
I would love to work on that musical. Any part, give me anything. I'd love to be involved in that one. It makes me happy. Fills me
My
with life.
favorite, believe it or not, is I was never a big musical fan, is Hamilton.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a good one.
That one would be, I think that'd be hard to perform in because it's so involved
Hannah and
with
I were
rapid music.
jamming.
But it's
On the
very
way here.
impressive. You should watch it, Josh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've found that a lot more people have a better time speaking in rhythm than they do actually singing.
Well, I don't even really mean that you're having to sing, because I think I could do the kind of sing-song, speak thing they do. It's the memorizing the raps.
Yeah.
I
That is
mean,
a
the
lot.
That's a
whole
whole history
thing
lesson.
the whole thing is
I
a.
have the whole thing memorized.
Yeah, well, that's impressive. But I was
just like it.
I went reluctantly to see it at the Orpheum. I did not want. I'm not a big musical guy. I don't typically like. I just am not a theater guy usually. I like a lot of it now because of my involvement with the Ruffin, but it wasn't really my thing, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather go watch some kickboxing or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went and I was amazed. It was very impressive. I was impressed with the way, not just that they could sing and rap the whole thing, it was constant, you know? It's very impressive.
Yeah.
The guy they had playing it. Anyway, that's one that I would kind of like to see. And then another one that I wish they would bring back. I almost auditioned last time they did it, just because I love it. And then the time constraint, I just decided not to, is Spam-A-Lot.
Yes.
Oh,
I got to do
that's
it last
funny.
time. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Lots of love for Spam a lot.
I
Yeah,
love
it's a
Spam-A-Lot
good
so
one.
much.
Well, so tell me, each of you can kind of go around and tell me just one little point that you think would be important on why people should come see this performance of Legally Blonde.
I think we're all really bad at talking about
Well-
ourselves.
Well,
Well, you can talk about the play in general
Yeah.
or
I'll
just what
say
you think.
that, one thing about it is the story about a girl who is confident in herself through and through, and she learns that appearances and all these things, while they can help, they're not what matter, and that if you have the determination, tenacity to do something, you can do it no matter what
Yeah.
all the odds say. I
Like-
think it's a great story.
Like she was living the perfect Barbie dream girl life, and then it was just shattered by her boyfriend like deciding to listen to his parents for some reason. And then she, instead of making a rational decision to try to just move on from it or something, she was so stuck in that world that when she finally got out of that world, she could find herself, and she's so much more amazing than she thought she was even to start with. And and Emmett actually helps bring that out, and he's such a wonderful character. I love him so much. And
David does an excellent job.
yeah.
Is it David Fox?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like we work together, and so we practice at work all the time. It's so funny. But you have any points about it?
I guess mine's kind of cliche, but it's fun. It
Yeah.
wears its fun on its sleeve.
That's
It's
true,
it's a
too.
good time. The fun doesn't like take away from the story in any sort of childish way. Everything blends together nicely. The music is surprisingly high level for as poppy and catchy as it is. There's a lot of like really just.
I take offense to that. As poppy and catchy, it's high level.
Just that's the key changes and all the things that it does that aren't usually associated with the style of music that it's portraying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really it's fun, and we have a really fun cast. They're really wonderful people. I can't wait to see how all of our parts blossom into what it does when theater does its thing with all its individual parts.
Yeah.
So I know that's what everyone says about every show ever, but I really mean it.
so
It's really cool.
fun.
Yeah.
It's true though.
I hope I'm able to portray to everyone how much fun I am having playing this part.
Yeah, me too. I like being a big smart aleck.
When does it open? What are the dates?
June 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then the 14th and 15th.
Yes.
Is this going next week, Josh?
Yeah. This will be out next Tuesday.
Cool. So second weekend of June sounds like somewhere around there.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. And it's at the Ruffin. And are y'all doing Friday, Saturday, matinee, Sunday, or?
Yes.
Yes,
Is it?
for
Okay,
the first
so-
weekend,
7th,
and then it's just
8th are
Friday,
at
Saturday.
7,
Uh-huh.
and the 9th is at 2 p.m.
Well, another point I want to make on, and I know all of you now to some degree. I've known you two for a while, and I meet Mr. Tanner here. We thought he might have seen me naked before. I'm not sure, but he's debating it. I'm just talking about the Rocky thing. But anyway, I've been a long time supporter of the Ruffin, and I think it's important for the community to know that the best way they can support the Ruffin is by coming and seeing the shows.
Yes,
It's great to become patrons. It's great to do sponsorships and all that stuff. But ultimately, the actors want to perform in front of people, and so they want people to come see them. And so it's not expensive. It's a good local theater with local people that are supporting the arts. And so if you're a viewer that's interested, go check them out. It's a couple hours, and it's cheap entertainment. And I think it's all. I'm rarely disappointed when I go see a performance at the Ruffin. There's always something that you can take away that you enjoyed it. And then you can always sneak in booze too, and it will make it even nicer.
I don't know how Beth Bar that is.
I'm joking. I was joking.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, so I know y'all are both 23, right? How old are you?
I'm 20.
20. Oh, you're all grown. Man, I feel like an old man here.
I know David's the only one that's.
Well, I'm listening
really
to y'all
younger
talk. You're all adults, and some of the things. It's just interesting to me as I get older on like generational gaps. Like some of the stuff y'all are bringing up play wise, I don't know what they are. I'm sure if we talked about like music, you would probably like things that I don't even know.
Yeah.
I like Taylor Swift. You like Taylor Swift?
That's my sister.
Okay.
My sister likes
Anyway, that's just always interesting to me. It does make me feel old though, because y'all are so young.
like Chicago and Hairspray and things.
Well, but I don't know that's a good gauge with me because
Yeah,
I
that's what
didn't.
I was gonna say. It's like we're all very musical theater.
Yeah,
people
I wasn't a
anyway.
theater person.
Yeah, so
I was more of a jock type. I was a nerd. Okay, in elementary school I was a nerd. I got picked on, beat up, wanted to be an astrophysicist. Parents put me in karate. All of a sudden, karate gave me such great confidence. I borderline became a jock. I played football. I was national competitor in martial arts, and then all I cared about, I didn't even like football. I was the kicker. I didn't even know the rules. I just kicked the football. Like, seriously. Yeah, and so then fast forward, everything was just competitive in my life. So I did kickboxing professionally. I did MMA professionally. I taekwondo. I still do taekwondo and do taekwondo at an international level. I did competitive powerlifting, like all this jock stuff.
Lawyer stuff.
But it's still fighting though, right? But I'm very but I like I have a bookstore because I love reading. I'm really a nerd. I'm a nerd that learned to fight is what it is, and how to have confidence. So, but saying all that, I wasn't raised in a theater home. We didn't go to plays. We didn't go. Josh will tell you we were raised on what, Josh?
1980s action.
1980s action movies.
It's
So Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sly Stallone, that's our whole moral code is built on 1980s action movies.
I was actually in a very similar thing. My parents don't love just watching musical theater stuff. So I didn't get exposed to any of it until 5-ish years ago. I've found all of this in the past 5 years, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I have been open to more of it from the Ruffin. It's opened my eyes to a lot of it. It's also opened my eyes to things that I didn't appreciate, like the amount of effort that goes into getting these shows ready.
Yeah.
My role in Rocky, at this point I can do blindfolded, right?
Yes.
But even that, I get to see the effort that everybody, the construction of the set, the There were all the rehearsals you do, the dealing with the interpersonal issues, because you got some people like, in Rocky, half of us are never serious.
Yeah.
And so then you got some people that are serious, and you're having to deal with these people that are just jacking around the whole time. That takes a lot of work ethic, though, to do that. So my point is that I learned a new respect for that area.
The craft.
Exactly. The craft of being in theater.
Yeah.
So I think that, well, let me ask you that then, because that's kind of a good question that maybe you have insight on. What is something that you have learned, sort of insight you gained, that you didn't have before you were doing the plays? Into like how the performances are put on, or maybe an appreciation for an element of it you didn't even think about? What's something that you sort of learned from the experience?
I don't know. Because when I first like came back to theater, because I did it a little bit when I was like 10, and then I took a long break, and when I came back to it, I immediately jumped in and started helping. So I learned everything immediately. I didn't really get this like, I didn't know that people did this.
Yeah.
But
I've been doing theater since I was 10 steadily.
yeah.
So I don't really remember kind of thing I didn't know, because I was so young when I started, and it's kind of just been my life for the past 10 years.
I would say that, like, I knew this already because I was a band kid, so we're all like that. But it really brings emphasis to the concept of, like, every single person that's involved carries a lot of weight. Like, every single person is really important, no matter what you're doing. Even if you're the guy that comes out and brings a chair 3 times out of the on for the show, that chair's not out there one of 3 times, then that scene is, everyone's stressing out and it's ruined.
It's
So,
very important,
like,
I think.
depending on the kind of person you are and what you can put into things, it can really determine the outcome of what you do. So the human nature of everything is really vibrant in this scenario, I guess.
And, like, ensemble stuff is, like, super important. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you don't think about it when you, like, first get into it. You're all focused on all
Neither does the audience, but
main,
like
you're all focused on the main people, and then but you don't realize that without that ensemble there, that crowd in the background is gone. It is 2 people just talking on stage, and your immersion is ruined without them.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff that is, if you're in the ensemble, you are pretty much on stage all the time. You are wearing so many different hats, to say.
Yeah.
All the stuff you're doing, it is what you're going to start out doing usually with theater, and it is the hardest thing I think to do in theater, and to stay consistent, and because you don't get that glory that a lot of the principal main actors do and stuff, but it's something that you have to remember that without, like, you'll watch a movie and they're out in, like, at a restaurant or something. Imagine the 2 actors that are speaking. Imagine them in an empty restaurant, and that is why you need ensemble extras. It's all of that.
Yeah. Like, I think I actually learned most of the stuff, like, I need to be able to do as Elle from being in ensemble previously, because she does a lot of ensemble type things, but she's in the foreground. Like, that's the main.
She's a girl's girl.
Different, yeah. Like, she tries to bring everybody else up, and everybody kind of has a moment in the show. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the few shows where you've had such a prominent, like, main character consistently, but she also tries to let everybody else have a time, and it's so nice. Like, I love this character so much. I love Elle Woods.
We're talking about that's an interesting point on the ensemble, because sometimes I watch movies and I'm like, I wonder what they're thinking. Am I in the frame, or what's my face like? I had a somewhat similar experience. I went to the Arnold Classic about 6 weeks ago in Columbus, Ohio. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger puts on this ginormous sporting event.
Yeah.
It's the second largest sporting event in the world, second to the Olympics, and it's across just hundreds of miles in this area. They've spread it out all over the place. All these, it's not in one spot. It's all in these different convention centers. Anyway, so I was there with the U.S. Taekwondo team. They were performing, and we were doing a tournament and all this stuff. Well, Arnold is going to come, and they came to our group, and they needed some extra security for him.
I love you,
and
on a first name basis.
well,
I know.
because they didn't have enough security, and they asked if any of us were former law enforcement. Well, I've been a cop for 12 years, so they tell them, and they put me on Arnold's security detail.
That is so cool.
It's cool, except for me, it being a 1980s action film guy, this was like being with Jesus.
Yeah.
So like Jesus himself walks in, and my job is to protect Jesus, and I'm struggling to focus on, is anyone trying to get him? I'm standing by Jesus, you know. So it was a struggle. My point is, if I were ensemble, sometimes I could see that being a struggle if you're with like, you know, or not trying to upstage the other actors, you know.
Important.
Yeah, because the human brain, while they don't have the knowledge and I guess professionalism to see all of the details that are happening, they still know what life looks like just generally. Like it's a subconscious thing. And so even if they don't know what's wrong, they can feel things that are empty because it's not lining up with something that they normally observed.
Not right.
Yeah, like if there's not background music when everything else is swelling, it's like something feels empty. If there's not proper placement of certain things in the background or people moving in the background of a scene, people are going to be like, I'm lost, where are we? You know, but if you draw subtle hints in there, then that's what really makes things explode.
Directing a show, that it's something you have to think about is how is the audience going to react to this, and then also as an actor, you also think about it. I was explaining to my dad, who doesn't really get theater, but he supports me, that a stage is 1 wall, 2 wall, 3 wall, 4 wall, and that four wall is your 4th wall, which is where the term breaking the 4th wall comes from. The 4th wall is also your camera, so you are doing everything for that 4th wall, or for that camera, which is the audience. So you angle out everything for the audience. You make sure everything is like oriented to a way that the audience sees it. You are performing for the audience. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, it is for the audience.
Well, sometimes I think ensemble can stand out too. I was talking about that the first year they did Spam-A-Lot. I forget the fella's name that was acting in it. He was playing one of the squires. What was the name of it? Patsy. He was Patsy. And Jude, my son, that y'all probably know.
Yes.
Jude, he was 13, 14 at the time, and we went to watch it. And I think he kind of humored me to go with me because he's not a big Monty Python fan anyway. So we go. And the interesting part is his favorite part of the whole play was Patsy. And Patsy's really kind of backup. He was kind of ensemble. And what happened is he got to watching Patsy when the principals would be having dialogue, and Patsy would still be being Patsy in the back.
Yes.
Patsy was like making faces.
Roman Ziegler.
Yeah, I think that's who it was.
Yep.
Anyway, to this day, that was one of the best performances I've seen because Jude, who had no interest in it, wanted to come back just to watch Patsy perform. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, because all of acting is reacting. That is something that they will teach you in classes. It's all reacting, and you can tell a great actor, great instincts when they are not the focus of the scene or anything, but they are still reacting like their character would, or when you're seeing them, there's no separation between them or their character, and it is something that it can totally break your immersion to see someone that is just off doing their own thing, not really paying attention. And you're just like, then you get focused on that one person. But it also works the other way around, where like Patsy, they are so outstanding in how they do it that
It's the one that
That's
you're
what
drawn
you focus
to.
on. Yes. And
Well, he was still in his role. His role was kind of the,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Right.
idiot squire. He was just doing a really good job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's one
he's
of
so
the
good.
hardest things personally to me whenever I'm on stage is like having to be in a scene where I don't have any lines and I just have to react to the things going around because it's like, great, now I have to pretend I'm a normal person that and this is a regular conversation, but also not, because you have to make it dramatic a little bit so that it shows up on stage.
A lot of times I turn to you and mouth nothing, but
Yeah, we'll just pretend like we're having some
Well,
sort of
so
conversation.
interesting you say that. So in Rocky, of course, a lot of us are goofballs that are in that play.
Yeah.
And so when there were times like that where we're just supposed to be kind of talking, we're always saying really inappropriate things to each
I
other
believe that.
to try to make them break character.
Yeah.
Is what we're trying to do. It's kind of like a Saturday Night Live skit.
I
You know,
believe
if I can get
that.
them to break character, I did a good
Yeah.
job. But that play is much more interactive with the audience
Yes.
than
Yes.
some of these
Yeah.
other ones. Well, now that y'all have been in a play that deals with a lawyer, have any of you now given thought to going to law school? You're like,
my mom's a lawyer. I do not want to live that life.
That's how my kids feel, I think.
I'm interested in learning more about the law, but I don't know if I have the brain for law school. That seems very hard, and my brain's not information oriented like that.
Like I feel like
At least not to that degree.
I could do it, but I'm not very confrontational, and I really don't want to have to do that.
Well, there's
so-
different kinds
I
of
like
lawyers.
debating.
My mom does
Yeah.
real estate. So.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
different than what I do.
Exactly.
That's not as confrontational.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I do
Different
every
stuff.
day is confrontational, but my personality has grown into I'm pretty confrontational. I shouldn't say I'm confrontational. I don't mind confrontation.
Yeah.
But they're different kind of lawyers. On your point, though, I'll tell everybody this. All of you are plenty smart enough to be lawyers. You'll talk to some lawyers that want to act like they're really smart and, oh, it's so difficult. I mean, it's not easy, but I like to think of myself as a blue-collar lawyer, which means I have blue-collar work ethic. Like, I just work harder than everybody else. Generally, I work harder than most lawyers because they have what I call white-collar work ethic. That means they want to work like 3-4 hours a day and they go home.
Yeah.
I'll work 10-12 hours a day and go to the other job. You know, like I'm just a different type of work ethic. And I think you can overcome a lot of inferiorities or lack of certain skill sets you might not have been born with through sheer determination and work. So law school sucks. That's for sure, it sucks. It's
Just
hard.
School in
But
general,
I'm not super studious. You know, I was a C at best student. I got a 22 on the ACT. I wasn't like super genius smart. The bar exam is very difficult, and I had to take it 3 times. Like most people, a lot of lawyers will frown on that. But what I think is interesting is the LSAT, the law school admissions test that I didn't do super great on, and the bar exam that I'd take 3 times. There are a lot of other lawyers that got through it the first time, and I'm much more well known and have defeated them in court. It has nothing to do with my ability to actually be a lawyer, you know. So it's the same thing with ACT. All these kids just graduated, and they're judging their value based on the assessment from SAT or ACT, these standardized tests that are completely not a determination of how intelligent they are.
It's just numbers.
It's literally just some bullcrap standardized test the government has to try to determine where tax dollars go. It's stupid. I have a huge soapbox on that.
That sounds right.
It's not functional. It's not functional for real life.
Yeah.
My point, though, is if you ever do have an interest in, and look, I didn't go to law school till I was 31. You know, your mom probably went straight out of school.
Nope.
No, she waited a while too.
She worked at GuardSmart for a bit, and she couldn't, but she really wanted to do it, and my dad.
Do you know how old she was when she went?
She was young. Like,
Okay.
But
Well,
she
I'm
didn't
not
go
saying that's
straight out.
bad. I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
she
that.
didn't, I'm just saying she didn't go straight.
My
out
point
of-
was that even if you don't go straight out of it, that's always an option in the future.
Yeah,
I didn't
she,
even
she
have
didn't
an
know she was going to after.
I didn't even have an
college.
undergrad degree at the time. To get in law school, you have to have a 4-year degree. You have to have a bachelor's degree, and then the law degree is a doctorate, and then you have to pass the bar exam to get licensed. So it's a big process. But the long story short is, I hear a lot of people say what you just said, and I can tell just from talking with you, you're plenty smart enough to do it. And if you like to debate or not, doesn't really matter because there's different kind of law. You know, you don't have to be. I'm a trial lawyer. I go to court every day to protect people's rights from the oppression of the government, to defend them. I uphold the Constitution by making sure their civil liberties are not trampled on by law enforcement and the state. That's what I do every
And
day.
you got
So
people
I
like-
fight the government every day.
You have people like my mom who has done contract
interesting.
law, and where she just goes over contracts, and checks the wording on it, makes sure everything's airtight. She's like closings.
And
for-
probably makes way more money than me,
Yeah.
honestly, because criminal law is like a blue collar law thing. But
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It fits my personality.
Yeah, but she does, like closings for houses and stuff, and titles, and
And if y'all ever want to
all stuff.
intern
There's a lot of stuff.
to see what we do internships all the time. They're unpaid, where you come for a week and you just kind of shadow us to see. It's more of a job shadowing thing than an internship. But if you ever really want to see what we do, we're always open to let you guys try that out. See if it's something you want to do.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, not to sidetrack on it, but I think we need more lawyers, and I think because of just what you said, that's a common barrier. Is a lot of people think either one, it's too expensive, or I'm not smart enough, or well, my daddy's not a doctor or a lawyer, I can't do it. You can do it. You just got to have better work ethics. You got to have better work ethic than the other people in the room.
I always thought it was about the resourcefulness of how you can
No,
pull
my
information.
mom-
You learn a lot of that.
Well, there's a
Interesting.
line in
Yeah.
the show where Emmett goes, "I don't go to parties a lot, not good use of the time that I got." My mom said that's exactly how she felt during.
Well, here's what they
school.
do the first year of law school. The first year of law school, they assign you 150 pages of deep legal text every night to read. And then the next day, they call on you and they say, all right, Tanner, I need you to recite the facts from such and such case.
Which
Well, what's
is
the rule of law from
what
that
we
case?
talked about which is
The Socratic
some of our
method.
scenes in our.
Yeah,
which
and
is-
then they'll have you you have to extract from the case law the rule of law, and then they'll change the facts and say, well, what if the facts were this way? How would that apply? Here's what they're trying to do. In real practice, you have to quickly assess a large quantity of information and determine what's important and what's not important. So that first year of law school, what they're really doing is trying to teach you to think like a lawyer, right? That's the first year. And that's why they assign way more information. So, like, I had it happen just the other day. I wasn't even thinking about it, but we had an intern, a lady that's in school right now to go to law school. She's fixing to get her bachelor's, and then she was interning. Anyway, and I had her reading this affidavit. The affidavit's like this long. And I said, all right, cool. The facts of the case are this. This is what he's accused of. This is what our defense is. And she's like, well, I can't read that fast. And it's not so much reading that fast. It's assessing what information is relevant fast. Your mom would do it, too, in the contracts, because you don't
Yes.
read all of the boilerplate sometimes.
Which has definitely helped me when I was doing school, and she would go through and be like, okay, here's what you need to do.
Yeah. So it's just you learn to think like that, but it's not a. Now the problem is once you become an attorney, then you analyze everything as an attorney. So you're like, for instance, you may make a statement right now that I agree with, and sometimes I'll disagree with you intentionally so that we can argue the weaknesses in that statement, because that's how you strengthen the argument, is by understanding the weaknesses in your argument.
Literally,
I do that
Ace
already because
Attorney.
it's fun. It's fun to
Yeah,
build on ideas.
well, that's what we do. That's all we do.
Interesting.
So yeah, not to sidetrack us from Legally Blonde, but
Well, I mean,
That's-
it
I was gonna say,
works
that's-
because, like, I was just saying, like, literally have some scenes in the show where they're talking about some cases. And
Yeah, what you just what you just described actually helped me understand exactly what was happening in a scene that's in the show. So that's very interesting.
My first scene that I have,
Sorry.
Elle is being kicked out of class because she didn't do the assigned reading that was on the first day, and I'm saying,
they do kick you out too.
yeah, and I said, just
I was
figure out-
my favorite professor was Professor Allen. She's not at Memphis anymore. I went to the University of Memphis Law School, which is a great law school, and she's a scary individual. One of the most intelligent people I've ever met. She went to, I think, Harvard or Yale. I don't want to butcher it, but it was either Harvard or Yale. Very, very talented attorney. And her husband was mayor of Memphis for a long time. Lee Harris was her husband. Anyway, this is what was so interesting. First day of law school, and I'm a grown man, right? I'm not some little kid walking in there. I've arrested people and been shot at. So I walk in there, sit down, no big deal. She instantly calls everyone by name. There's 300 of us, and she knew everybody by name. She had memorized it from the student database. She had memorized everyone's name.
Wow.
She immediately calls on you as soon as you sit down. Mr. Mason, what's da-da-da, and ask about the cases, right? So she asked this one guy that first called on, and he didn't read. He tried to bullcrap it, and it was clear he didn't. Kicks him out of the class, and we're grown people paying for this. Second person she goes to didn't read. They were trying to kind of cliff notes. It's clear they didn't read. Kicks that person out, and I was like, oh my God, this is serious.
Yeah.
So that was nerve wracking, but yeah, it's interesting you say that. They will do that. They'll kick you out. So there's components of legal. I remember at least the play. there's components of it that are accurate on the way we do it. I mean, obviously it's a play and
I mean,
fiction.
a lot of
but,
it's
Right,
fictionalized
Yeah.
and romanticized.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like you were talking about your mom saw that when she went to law school. When I got in law
Mm-hmm.
school, my first 1L year, the Suits show had just started.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. Suits. It's a great show. It's a legal drama. Completely inaccurate to how actual legal practice is, but I wanted to be Harvey Specter on Suits. He's the good-looking guy that wears the fancy suits and always
And
wins.
on Star Valley McBeal and stuff too.
Yeah,
So.
I didn't watch that one, but I definitely Suits was literally the first season I was at 1L,
Suits, yeah.
and then 2L and 3L in law school. But well, I'm taking a lot of y'all's time. Let's do this one more time. Why don't you tell everybody where if you want them to follow your social media or any of that stuff, let them know how they can follow your stuff, or how they can get tickets and go see the play.
I don't really have any social media. I'm working on it.
Smart.
And, I don't know, but
Okay, they go to Tipton artscouncil.org, I think.
I think so.
I think it's Tipton Arts Council. I was on the board and I forget.
I know.
TiptonArtsCouncil.org or something like that. Or just Google Ruffin Theater,
Yeah, just-
Covington, and it
Just-
pops up.
Yeah, just Google it. It's on.
How much are
I'm
the
sure
tickets?
they have it on the Facebook page.
I think they're 15.
Maybe.
Usually,
Kids
what
are, younger kids are cheaper or free, I think, usually.
I think so.
These are questions we should have already looked up.
I know.
Yeah.
TiptonArtsCouncil.org. Okay.
Yeah, I was just squinting at the actors and stuff here.
I know we're
like we
working
get
on
them for
putting it
free.
on.
when is the play dates again?
June 7th, 8th, and 9th, and the 14th and 15th.
Nice. Cool. Well, I appreciate y'all coming in to join us today. I hope
for having
everybody
us.
that watches will come see the show. I will definitely be in the audience. I'll hide because I have nightmares from Rocky.
I want you to scream and shout. I want to be able to.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the
Fuck you.
popping crack or whatever it is.
Gotta
Bend
Get a
and
pop
pop.
I
Yeah,
actually have
so-
to do that.
If you haven't already, follow, like, all that good stuff. Don't forget to download NA the Band's song or album Inside My Head. It actually is good. Check them out.
It actually is.
Yeah, and then Michelle Allen again is our longtime sponsor of the show. If you're going to buy, sell, rent, lease real estate anywhere in West Tennessee, she'd be glad to help you out. If you want to learn to kick and punch and jump and flip, just visit masonsmartialarts.com. We have a location in Covington and a location in Millington. We've been open for 30 years, so come check us out. Jam Books and Records is located in Covington on the Square, open 7 days a week, new and used books and records and other stuff, so come check us out there. And then if you need help with your social media marketing, your website design, commercial filming, just visit masonitemarketing.com. And until next time, we'll see you. I hope you have a good week. Make sure you check these guys out in that play. Maybe I'll see you there, and keep kicking. Thanks for watching, guys. Just remember that this is not legal advice or investment advice or business advice. This is for fun and entertainment purposes only.